Christ. Bum, bum. Hey, sports fans, and welcome back to the Trent and Zyori podcast. It's episode number 158. It is the new year, 2020, April 8th. It's not April, it's January 8th, and it is 9 o'clock a.m. here Mountain Time. Nice and early. Trent, my good friend, how
nice
you
start.
feeling?
I was a lot better before you just said it was April.
Yeah, I know. I jumped ahead. I wanted to just skip the first quarter of this year, get it out of the way, and move right into the good stuff.
Well, I'm well. It's very snowy here. It's a snow day, so I live next to an elementary school, so the kids are all out. I see some of them from the neighborhood are out there playing on the giant snowbanks, so they're having a grand old time.
Wow.
My wife didn't have to go to her university classes today because she's doing part-time work and part-time education degree now, so her classes were canceled and she didn't have work today. So
wow,
there you go.
That
so
is a
she's off
proper
too.
snow day there.
Yeah, it's a big snow day in the house. So, some cross-country skiing later.
Whoa.
Some tobogganing for Clifford. He's never been tobogganing, so we're going to, send him down.
Now, what's the deal with you? Do you have to shovel your driveway and shit?
Yes.
Okay, so you got, even with all that heavy snow, y'all are just serious shovelers.
We just shovel. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That's your winter cardio. It's
And
very important after the
you
Christmas
don't have a
bonbons.
snowblower.
No, I do not have a snowblower.
That just seems like a standard utility in a Canadian home to me. You know, I've got a water boiler, I've got a stove, I got a toaster. You don't have a snowblower.
I would say there's issues with the snowblower. First off, it's pretty come on, just shovel. You know.
Aren't there points where, isn't there a cutoff where shoveling is kind of impractical compared to the guy across the street with the snowblower that's just walking and that snow's disappearing? What, like a foot? 2 feet?
I mean, it's arguable. It definitely depends on how much you have to shovel, I guess. I don't have enough that a snowblower would be worth it. That's for sure. So I'm shoveling.
Now, I will say there is somebody in our neighborhood that does have a snowblower. And every time it snows and I'm out there shoveling like a goddamn plebeian, I look at that guy and just go, yo, my man, you blowing. You smart.
Now, I don't think I could own a snowblower because I would be very, I'd feel guilty. I would not be able to watch someone else shovel if I had a snowblower.
So you'd just be the neighborhood snowblower because you...
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of houses from my house. So if I see some old dude shoveling 6 houses down, I would feel obliged to go down with a snowblower and do something. So I don't think I can own one.
Okay, I see. You're too Canadian to own a snowblower. I see.
Well, I'll say there's one guy who owns one on the street, and I see him go and do the houses near him. He does all the sidewalks. He doesn't do their driveways, but he will make sure that the sidewalk is done all around the corner, and I think that's very nice.
When I lived in Jersey, there was a guy that lived in our county that just had a really big oversized truck that most of the year was really impractical, but when it snowed a lot, he would put a big plow on the front, and then he was just like this private snowplow service. And he had I forget what it was. It was if you paid him $20 for the season, then you'd be on the list to get plowed, and I think the rates would kind of change depending on demand, but it was a pretty good deal. You'd show up once, be like, hey, you want your shit plowed if it snows this year? And you go yes or no and hand him $20, and then your shit gets plowed. It was awesome.
Wow, that's pretty good.
You know the government wasn't doing it.
Got him.
Actually, how are your plow? Do you guys have pretty good plow systems up there? It's like 50-50 here. The main roads get done, but the neighborhoods are fucked.
No, it's good. We're pretty well prepared.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. It's fairly good. You know, they definitely boob it up once or twice a year where they're like, well, we didn't think there'd be this much snow, so all the plows aren't ready. That definitely happens. But for the most part, it's pretty good.
So plenty of Dota stuff to talk about today. Of course, you were in Singapore not that long ago. We didn't do a podcast around Christmas or New Year's. We both took a little time off. I actually played some video games, which was nice. Wow. Dude, this Path of Exile League has been a lot of fun. I've been loving it. I am still pretty bad, but I've been trying not to cheat, Trent. You see, it's really easy just to cheat and buy maps and get items and trade with people to be really good. I'm trying to do it as by myself as possible,
so that I get solo grinding
the full experience. Now I'm not playing like solo self-found hardcore. I am still just playing normal ladder. I have traded some items, but I'm really trying to figure out this Atlas. The Atlas is the big end game content where you do all the maps and really grind towards like the Elder, Uber Elder and Shaper. They got rid of that and they changed it. That was this whole beginning of Path of Exile 2.0. So now the Atlas has these watchtower, these citadels with watchstones, and you have to kill challengers so that you can unlock Cirrus and the Awakener. And I'm desperately trying to get to the Awakener. You need 32 watchstones to summon him. I'm at 9. So
and that's like a bossy fight?
He's like he's like the replacement for what used to be the Elder. He's kind of like the final boss, so to speak. So, I'm still working my way up. I'm playing a Scourge Arrow Pathfinder. I move real fast, use a lot of flasks, and I use a bow and arrow, trying to get that dark scorn. I'm all about poisons, Trent. I'm a poison archer.
That's your jam, eh?
Yes, and in PoE you can stack poisons. So every time I use this spell that does a lot of little instances of damage, so they stack up poisons, and all of a sudden they just go and just bleed out. It's awesome.
All right, so like in the meta of these builds, how would you compare it to the tiering of Dota? Like, how broken is your build?
Not that broken. So necromancers and summoners are what's really broken. They were broken on the last league, and everyone thought this was going to be the bow league. So I was looking at these kind of archer type characters, and it seems they didn't nerf necros enough. Apparently skeletons are still pretty good or something, and zombies got nerfed. I don't know, but the really dumb build that like a third of the solo self-found hardcore is doing is just mindless. You summon all these skeletons, they kill everything, and you just run through it all. Apparently it's
fun.
Really boring, but super efficient. So I decided to play something a little more active. I don't know. I use an actual mechanic, I use actual bow spells and ballistas and shit like that.
I've been seeing my friends list pop off, lots of PoEers, so everyone seems to be enjoying themselves.
Dude, I'm telling you. Video esports are so siloed, and not that PoE is really an esport per se, but a lot of gamers only play like 1, 2, maybe 3 games, and that's it in terms of competitive. Like you can only follow so many scenes. There's only so many hours in the day, and PoE and Dota are just they're a very similar sort of formula with the free-to-play, the cosmetic type business model, kind of easy to get the basics, but then you realize there's all this crazy depth there, very high skill ceiling, relatively difficult games in the grand spectrum of stuff. And it's the perfect counterbalance. You play a couple bad Dota games in a row, and you're like, fuck my teammates, I just want to grind something by myself. And you play PoE for 10 hours straight, and you go, I'd really like to talk to somebody about really anything. So they're this great, you get tired of one, you go back to the other, and it keeps my gaming life in balance.
You just want to read more Harry Potter to your friends in your Dota games, I see. Yeah. Yes. Don't want to be too lonely.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a fun league, and a lot of folks are getting into it. I mean, with the big PoE 2.0 announcement, that's coming in 2020. I think there's a lot of folks are like, all right, Path of Exile is legit. I haven't put that much time into it, but now I know this game is going to have more shit coming. I want to learn it now so that I have a foundation when the good stuff comes out. So I think anybody who was sort of toying with PoE now has a lot more motivation to really dive in.
I keep thinking I'm going to play it, and then I don't get into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
not
for everyone, but I've been enjoying it. And
good.
Who knows, dude? World of Warcraft, next big expansion, Blackwing Lair, should be about a month away, so that'll be fun.
Didn't Battlegrounds just happen? I thought everyone was all pumped about that.
They did, but I don't know, dude. I really thought that PoE in WoW Classic was going to be the cream of the crop. That's what I was really looking forward to. I thought raiding was going to be this stupid, I've already killed all the bosses, it's not that hard. And it's been the opposite. The part that I've enjoyed the most is the one night a week when we raid for 2 or 3 hours, and I get to hang out with the crew and feel some camaraderie and get that.
You guys are still regularly raiding?
Yeah, every Tuesday, dude. Come on now.
Nice,
we did Thursdays for the holidays because that was Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. But yeah, Tuesday nights we full cleared MC in an hour 30 last night, which is a record for us. It was pretty exciting. 5 out of 8 tier 1. Got my benediction. It's happening. The rating's the fun part. It's fun to play with other people.
Favorite thing about WoW Classic is listening to Dota players I know bitch about people who they raid with. That I didn't realize. I kind of forgot because it's been so long since WoW was a thing. I had some friends that like kind of played it seriously, and they had like and they had their raid groups and everything. But I do remember, my God, the drama, dude. WoW is like, it breeds drama like no other business. Like, what is with that? I guess it's because like everyone feels like they shouldn't have to compete. I don't know what it is.
It's just the nature of the loot system being so scarce. There's 40 people, and there's 8 bosses, and each boss drops like 2 to 3 pieces of loot.
Yeah.
And it's totally random. So, like in our case, we have 2 shamans, and off Onyxia, we've gotten 6 shaman helms that we cannot use. It's just a complete waste. You know, the hero drop or the boss drops 2 items, and half of them have kind of just gone to waste because we don't have a class that can use it. We only have.
So you can't just trade it to another guild and get what you want?
No, it's all bind on pickup to that raid lock with all the people in there. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Actually.
So you can, depending on your guild being lucky or not. Like we've gotten a lot of priest items, we haven't gotten a lot of mage items. So for the mages, it's like, oh my God, you got that item and it's really good. And it's the only one that we've gotten in 2 months, and it's not fair. And for the priests, it's kind of like, yeah. We've all got benediction. I don't really give a fuck. You know, having a surplus of loot makes everything easier.
I think
and a lot of guilds use loot council. I don't know if you're aware of that concept.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
Yes.
Trust me. I've heard many of Fogg's conversations about the loot council and the rogue council and the necessities of the councils while we were at BTS. And it's like,
it gets serious.
There's the item drama, and then the other drama on top of that is like when people just aren't good, because like especially for the guild that like Grant and Fogged are in, it's like Mason and PPD, and it's like
they're
people that are super try hard, incredibly high skilled, and not just high skilled, but like they don't accept something as simple as they would say as just pressing buttons. Like, why aren't you pressing your buttons? Like, why? I told you what to do. Why aren't you doing it? It's like literally yelling at their position 5 in lane and not understanding why they're not pulling.
Well, and remember, this game has been out for so long that it's also super figured out. So there's a ton of argument about what is the absolute most optimal way to do X. And it's, like most things, you're talking about a 1 or 2% difference. It's not always obvious of like, this is the best way to do it. So people get into really heated arguments. But I know this item's better. It's better to have some stats rather than just spell power. No, you want to have all spell power. I made a spreadsheet, and it's just, it devolves very quickly. And it's all luck-based, right? So farming best-in-slot items before raid is generally a signifier of, hey, I'm dedicated. I wanted to get my best items before we're working as a team. But like for Carlo, he needed best-in-slot pants. It took him 35 kills of the same boss in a dungeon to get the pants. For me, I got my pants on the second kill in the sister dungeon next door. So it's just like, for me, oh, wow, look at Zyori. He's got his best-in-slot items. He's really try-hard. Nah, I just got lucky. Look at this idiot mage. He's still got green pants. And meanwhile, he's been grinding his ass off. He put in 10 times the amount of hours I did.
Yeah.
It's just a bullshit game, and that's part of what makes it so much fun, man.
Well, I'm glad that everyone seems to be enjoying that with their PoE.
Yeah. Now, before we dive into Dota, there was a big piece of news that I really want to ask you about because it's kind of tangential to these games. Warcraft 3... StarCraft 2. Did you see this one?
Yes.
$1.8 million in prize pools, guaranteed by Blizzard, handed over to ESL and DreamHack to run tournaments for these 2 games. This is pretty cool because folks like myself have been saying for a while, I like some of these Blizzard games. I don't believe in Blizzard's esports decision-making, hence I'm not really going to back any of these as a, big win. They've called the bluff. They've handed it off to the big boys. Is this enough, though? 1.8 million sounds like a lot, but I don't know if this is enough to like actually resurrect these scenes. Is that what the goal is, to make Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2 legit esports again?
I think so. I assume it will work. I mean, it definitely will work compared to like here's to me. If I'm an investor in Overwatch League, or if I'm a brand new team in the COD League, and I see this, my first reaction is like, what? Doesn't this worry you a little bit? Like, I feel like I would be worried. I'd be like, wait, you're just handing off 2 your games, and then you start going through it, and you're like, okay, so why are they handing off? Well, they want to put more attention towards COD League and Overwatch League. I guess that kind of makes sense. Does that make sense? Is that good? Well, why? Because those are they're basically taking 2 things that were never esports and trying to make them esports with all of their time and effort. And they're trying to turn something that they're not into something, when they could have just worked on these two things that totally could like have been esports. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I would feel like kind of an idiot because I'd be like, wow, why did I invest in the thing that never had a competitive scene when I could have just, why didn't you guys just improve and fix the thing that already has done it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased in favor of a third-party tournament system. Obviously, there's advantages to this OWL kind of LCS type model where it's all built into this one infrastructure. But I think there's also advantages to the Counter-Strike and Dota model where there's all these third parties that are sort of organically competing to some degree to operate in the space, and it creates all these different incentives and pressures for tournaments to up their game. And I don't know. I think this is a good step, but I think it's just a step.
I think it's good for anyone who plays those games.
Yeah, but 1.8 million is not as much as it sounds like because it's split across 2 games. And let's just say it's 50-50. Okay, you got 900K for an entire year. Like, yeah, that's enough. Again,
that's just from Blizzard, though, right?
Just from Blizzard to get people started. But the real issue is viewership. These games really started dying off in terms of viewership compared to the other esports. It wasn't just Blizzard's mismanagement of the competitive ecosystem. It was also just eyeballs on the actual games. Is StarCraft 2 fun to watch? Is StarCraft 2 going to be able to get the kind of numbers that we're seeing in League of Legends, Dota, even Overwatch, dude? Overwatch puts out a lot of broadcast hours at a relatively consistent bar. Can StarCraft 2 do the same? I don't know. Can Warcraft 3 do the same? I looked at Warcraft 3 last night in preparation for this podcast on Twitch. It had 2,000 viewers, and one of the streams was Todd, who used to be a pro StarCraft player. He's very popular, a very, very good RTS player, and he was casting a tournament called Todd's Tag Team Tournament something or other, and he had pro fucking players in it. Thorzane was in it. Thorzane's a pro StarCraft 2 player. His stream had like 1,500 viewers. People just don't give a fuck, man. Nobody wants to watch Warcraft 3 anymore. It's old. This whole like, hey, we're just re-releasing the same shit that we made a long time ago. That was even StarCraft 2 is kind of like, that was cool when I started in esports, man. That was 10 years ago. It's just not cool anymore. It's old.
Can they fix it? I don't know. I guess I don't know because I don't know that much about the scene, to be honest. So I don't have a good read on exactly how much they can fix it or save it. But
I mean, anything's savable, but I just don't know what the market is. I think when we joke about Dota being a dead game sometimes, Warcraft 3 is actually a dead game. Reforged is, quote, cool, and it will definitely bring back some resurgence, but I don't know, dude. I started in StarCraft 2, so I was on the pulse of that scene for a good year and a half, 2 years when I kind of began my casting career. And I played a lot of Warcraft 3 back in the day, so I don't know. One of the coolest things about Warcraft 3 was its tournament system that was built into the client that gave you these natural like brackets to play in pretty regularly.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Not exactly esports. And it's not for prizes. It's just like, it's basically Battle Cup.
It's like matchmaking Battle Cup, basically. I don't know. I would like to see something that is 1v1. I want to watch some 1v1 esport.
Yeah.
I would like to learn StarCraft. I could get into that,
I always thought casting Warcraft 3 could be cool. I mean, I always thought Warcraft as an RTS could be cool to watch because it's so hero-focused. StarCraft, you have a 200 supply. It's just all these fucking units mashing each other. You see the red ones start to overtake the blue ones. Cool. Warcraft 3 at least has heroes. It has a lower threshold for like supply. It's 100 instead of 200, so there's less units. Each unit is more meaningful, and a lot of it revolves around the heroes casting spells and getting coordinated kills on enemy heroes is a really big deal. That's where the big swings come. So I think it's easier to watch. I think it's more user or viewer friendly than your traditional RTS that's just army on army.
Well, I'm ready to learn.
Are you an Age of Empires kind of guy?
I played Age of Mythology. Hype. That was pretty fun.
Age of Mythology. Okay.
Never played no, I did not play. I mean, I definitely played Age of Empires, but no, I don't know. I don't watch it very much. I've seen it a couple times on Twitch. Synderen always hosts the same guy that's playing it.
Yeah.
I watch that sometimes.
It's also a weird space to work in because even though they've been pretty quiet games on an esports level, they still have these super hardcore dedicated players that you can't compete with. How would we ever start casting StarCraft? You got people like Nathanius. He's like been casting StarCraft this whole time. I quit 10 years ago and he's just been holding true to the cause. Like you can't hold a candle to that guy. He's been the StarCraft guy. Look at TLO. He can do whatever he wants. I guess one last little piece of news: Overwatch League. You see Montecristo quit?
Yeah, and rumors that there are more to follow. Dun dun dun. The only person who I guess we know isn't leaving is Bren. Because him and
Yes.
Sideshow are promoted to casting, which is what he's always wanted to do there. So that's obviously very exciting for Bren.
Yep.
And I wish him lots of luck in that. But yeah, it sounds like Monty will not be the only one to go, which makes me wonder about who else? I guess Semler's probably the other big name, right?
Yeah,
That
I'd
his
have to
name?
look at a whole list. Like Zoe's
Yeah.
still in there, right? There's some.
Yeah, I wonder if she's going back too.
They've got some popular folks. Yeah, I don't know. As an outsider, I don't know that much about what it's like to work OWL, but I think it's a mixed bag. I think in some ways it's an amazing gig because you have this great job security. You know, the seasons are relatively long. I'm pretty sure you negotiate either a season or a multiple season contract up front.
Yeah.
And from the Dota world, that would be amazing. Everything we do is event to event. Even TI is like event to event. You know, you don't know anything. And having, hey, I'm going to make X amount guaranteed for the next 8 months as long as I show up and do my job well. Whew, haven't had that in ever.
Yeah, exactly. That's not very much an esports thing. So, although some, we heard some complaints that like maybe the pay was kind of low, having that security is kind of nice in that sense still.
Yeah. But
I
think
heard
you're in a bubble though, right? You're in the Blizzard Playhouse and you got to play ball. You don't have that. You can't just go out there and say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. I mean, I remember hearing rumors around that I think Semler is staying because I heard that he is going to be able to work whatever he wants now. Because apparently their old contracts were exclusive, but I believe he's renegotiated to cast CSGO again.
Oh,
so
that's
he'll be
cool.
like showing up at tournaments too, as long as it doesn't interfere with Overwatch League.
Yeah.
But this is their big year, man. This is their jump to the homestand. So I will continue to look on. I don't know what the word is.
Cautiously optimistic.
Worryingly.
Yeah.
At the Overwatch League.
We're all in the same boat. We all want it to not fail because it's just such a big part of the esports ecosystem now. But a lot of us are pretty cynical. So it'll be interesting to see what Monty does next for sure.
Dude, we should play some Overwatch someday. I actually have not touched that game in so long.
Me neither.
I think the last time I played was their first like Halloween event.
Well, Archie says that there are some gigs available now. They're hiring casters. So, bud, if you want to, if you want to make the jump with me, we could hold hands and dive in the deep end.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. The only problem is you'd have to live in LA. Well, I guess you don't now. You just have to be on the road constantly.
Yeah,
I'll call up Blizzard and say, "Yo, those New York Philly events, hit me up. I'll be there. I'll just come spout some bullshit. I could host a panel."
You know, I will say I installed Call of Duty Mobile over the holidays. I was in the mood for like,
oh, did you?
For like a couch game, you know?
This I'm looking forward to hearing.
It's surprisingly good. I think I'm slowly becoming a mobile fanboy. I think I like want mobile games to work, but none of them are good enough yet to objectively say, yeah, this is really good and it's going to be an esport. But I still think ergonomics is a big problem. But for a first-person shooter on a phone, it's pretty fun. The biggest problem is you can't do like a 180. So positioning is a big deal. If somebody sneaks up behind you, you're dead. I mean, you can't.
You just do like tap, like double tap up down or whatever, like you used to be able to.
There might be a command that I'm missing to do like a quick, but like I could not turn quickly. I mean, it's good when someone's in your sights, you know, your sensitivity is pretty tight, but when you need to do a quick dash or you get got because somebody does a wraparound, you're just fucked. Now, the battle royale aspect I think is even more fun. Probably because people are kind of bad, you know, like people just suck at aiming, especially in third person, you know, instead of first person. So, it's fun to
it's third person.
You can pick. It's like PUBG. You can play third person or first person. So playing third person, it's what I imagine it feels like to be Dr. Disrespect or Shroud, when you can just run into a first person game and anyone you see, you just win the duel. So you can just play really aggressive at the end of the game, have like 20 kills. That's what it's like. I just run around and shoot rocks so people run at me and then I kill them and take all their stuff. Last time I played, I had 20 kills. I'm terrible. They might be robots. I don't know. But I still had a lot of fun killing the shit out of whoever I was killing. It's happening. It's slowly happening. These fucking devices we've got in our pockets are so powerful now. Like, the graphics are pretty impressive.
I can't watch a phone esport. Are you serious? Would you ever actually watch people compete?
Dude, so I follow this one guy on Twitter. I forget. I don't even know how to say his name. It's like Jen Says or Jen Rays or some shit. And he's a mobile caster, and he's just 100% convinced that mobile esports are the future. And nobody
I've seen that
engages with his
guy.
tweets. He's like in his
Yeah.
own world. But every time I read his articles, I think to myself, fuck, this guy's so right. This is so convincing. Mobile games are the future. And then I play one for an hour and go, in the future. Yep, that's the qualifier we're really holding on to here. You got to remember there's regions of the world that don't have i9 PCs just next to them like I do right now. And in Indonesia, Malaysia, South America, Philippines, mobile games are fucking crazy. Dropping $800 on a phone that can play games that are pretty good all of a sudden becomes a much better value proposition because it's replacing the things that you do on a computer. And it's so accessible and convenient. I think that's the one thing I keep going back to. I always have my phone. You can always just go, the temptation is always there, right? Oh, yeah, okay, play some Call of Duty. But I don't know how that translates to esports and professional. Because if you're professional, let's say, you're getting paid full time to be a pro player, you probably want to train about 8 hours a day, 5 days a week minimum.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? Okay, so that's my problem still. I still can't see the esports aspect. Like, why would I ever want to watch someone compete on a mobile game when I can watch basically the same game on a PC, especially when it's literally the same game on a PC but better?
Yes.
So who's ever going to watch that? I get playing in those kind of tournaments if you are a 13-year-old kid playing on your phone and you don't have a computer. Sure, that's cool. But, like, why would anyone sponsor or put money into this at all, aside from the developer, to try and get more people to install?
So to circle back to the Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2 thing, it all becomes about eyeballs. And I would have said the same thing about mobile games until I watched the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M1 Grand Finals. It was in the same venue that the KL Major was in, dude. It happened when I was 2 or 3 months ago when I was in New Zealand. And they had over 100K concurrents, filled fucking venue, broadcasting in 5 different languages. The Indonesian VOD had like 4 million views 24 hours after the tournament was done. It doesn't really matter what it is, because if you've got 10 million people that give a shit about a game,
that's true.
That's 10 million people that want to see what the best players are doing. And in the case of the MOBA, there's still drafting strategy. They still want to know, all right, what's the best hero in this meta? Who are the best players and how are they fucking up their opponents? It's the exact same formula as Dota and the shit that people were saying to us 10 years ago of like, well, why would you ever want to watch somebody play a video game when you could just play it yourself? It's like, well, for all those reasons I just listed, and it just trickles down.
Okay, yeah, but, why don't you want to watch paint dry? Well, because there is a fireworks show over there.
Yeah,
I mean,
but again, it becomes about players. If you have 10 million people that don't really have access to computers and they all play Mobile Legends Bang Bang, it just becomes the device. It's all just a way to interface with people.
God, I feel like such a boomer.
You sound like
I'm booming. I'm booming over here.
I know.
Why would you want to watch mobile games?
So I don't know. It's just
wrong.
When it takes over a region like that, it's like Han in Thailand. Why would you want to play Han in the current age? I don't know. People in Thailand are still playing it, and it's just one of those. When it hits a tipping point and it takes over, and everyone's playing it, it becomes that social standard of my MMR is better than yours, and everyone can relate to it. And there's that feedback loop of motivating people to want to grind more MMR.
I've seen Han coming up on the subreddit as of late.
How
by
so?
the way, people are upset with the patch. People still have the corner hasn't turned for a lot of people yet on the patch, where they go from I hate this patch, Ice Frog, to this is the best patch ever. A lot of that turn comes eventually. A lot of people are finding this patch particularly difficult to make that turn.
So
I think the neutral items, the outposts. So anyway, the reason is now some people I've seen in a lot of threads have been talking about moving to League. They've been playing a lot of League. Some people say, yeah, I just started playing Han. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm just playing Han, dude. And then everyone's like having these. You would love it, dude. There's these big comment threads talking about all the heroes in Han that they forgot about and they love playing again.
Yeah.
There's a whole community that's now playing Dota 1.
Wow.
Well, not Dota 1, sorry. They're actually playing 6.84, and they're also setting up servers for not servers, but lobbies for 6.88 as well. Okay. I actually did the instructions to set up 6.84 on my PC because I wanted to try some stuff with old replays, but I joined the Discord they have. They went from 25 to 200 people or something in a day.
Wow. Okay. I mean, so People have joked
okay,
about this.
what the heck? Now offline 365. They have almost 400 people in this classic Dota Club Discord now.
Wow. So people have been joking about this, but hearing that really makes me wonder when Reforged Warcraft 3 is legit out and open, is the remake of Dota 1 on Reforged going to become the new hipster version of Dota that everybody wants to play?
I mean, people are definitely going to try it, but I don't think many people will play it.
I'm just saying, man. That's like it's like a Dota 1 remake instead of Dota 2. And if you feel like Dota 2 shit the bed with all these new mechanics, there's going to be some purists out there, dude. You trying to run a tournament, bro? The Trent and Zyori, Dota 1, spectacular, $1,000 prize pool.
Maybe they'll give us $1.8 million to run a season.
It would be really sad if the remake of Dota became more popular than the actual Warcraft 3 ladder competitive matches.
It probably will.
That shit's a dead game. So where do you land on this patch? Do you feel like this one is like, are we finally getting a little too far with straying from the core Dota, or are you in the camp of this is as good as it's ever been and people just need to giddy up?
It's tough to really choose. I have fun when I'm playing, but I definitely resonate with a lot of the comments. Like people saying things like I feel like every game is rushed, and I feel like every game there's something I have to do rather than like something where I'm making my own play, if that makes sense. Like this idea of Dota used to be more of a blank canvas, and you used to be able to make moves in a game that would force your opponent to, like, they have to address it, right? You know, you're going to push top lane because then they have to push it out and stuff like that. It's harder to have those free actions now with the timers that are inflicted on you with, like, outposts. And then the bounty runes, and then the river runes, and then, you know, oh, the neutral items are coming up soon, so we shouldn't fight. We should make sure we clear these camps trying to get neutral items, and we should smoke at them. Like, I think there's a lot of optimization still to be made and to be found and to be built into everyone's gameplay that will make this better. But this was a humongous patch, and the game does feel a lot different. There's no doubt.
Well, the way you describe it, the word that I keep coming back to is just scripted. Like now there's this script you have to follow of, okay, every 5 minutes we have to do this. Okay, before the 10 minutes we have to get one of these outposts or else we're taking a big XP loss. There's all these things now that you kind of have to do. And there is still variance. You know, there's 2 outposts, so you can switch sides. You know, you can make rotations, but not the same way, let's say, 2 years ago playing a position 4 felt like, where the map was your sandbox and you could make of it what you will. Rotate to whatever lane needs help, go into the enemy jungle, stay in your jungle. I like that analogy of it being a blank canvas, and now there's sort of these rules carved within the canvas that you have to adhere to and to still win.
Yeah, it is different. I don't know. Overall, though, I'm definitely having a lot of fun playing. It's been really nice.
I was right when it dropped. I was on like a hot streak when it came out, and I've lost my last like 7 in a row. I think Dota for me is always more fun when it's chaotic, and that base of just people coming to come back and learn is more fun. And then once those people kind of lose interest and it's just the try-hard grinders, man, people are fucking nasty. I mean, a lot of jerks in my games the last couple. I had a couple N-bombs come out, just a couple of those, like, Jesus, dude. Whoa.
Everybody, relax.
I mean, seriously, I had a couple of those just like, okay, that game it doesn't get worse than that. Next game in the draft, the guy just, and you're like, what? Whoa. Please.
Thank you for keeping the podcast on topic. Our normal subject returns. My last games, I'm 7 in a row so far, so that's good. Or 7 in a row, my last games.
Whoa, that's good.
7 wins, yeah. I mean, I've been playing with like Fogged and Owen and Weppes and Scriff, so usually those games, we've actually had some really hard games. They've been a lot of fun. I find my normal matchmaking games have been more enjoyable. Like, we keep running into like the try-hard China 5 stacks at like 9 a.m., you know, U.S. East time.
Yep.
Whew, it's been good. It's been really good games. Yeah.
I need to play some party queue, I think. Solo was fun at the beginning when everyone was just picking shit, and now solo queue has gone back to being not worth the experience. Highly recommend the party queue.
Yeah, party queue's where it's at.
Do you think we're close to Void Spirit and Snapfire in competitive?
I don't know. You know what? No one's picking Void Spirit in my games. I keep trying to ban him. He doesn't get banned, and I don't see him popping off as much anymore. So now I didn't get to play a lot right after the last couple nerfs, so I assume that those hit people pretty hard, and they just stopped playing them.
Mm.
I'm not sure about your. What about you guys? Got any experience out there? Do you guys still see Void Spirit every game? Because I feel like he's just gone.
I'm seeing him less, but still sometimes. He feels more like a nuisance now. He used to
What
be
his pick rates like?
a demolisher, but I'm not nearly as intimidated by him. I have not seen nearly as much snap fire either.
I mean,
I
Void
don't
Spirit's
really...
pick rate is down to 9% this week. That's really low.
Whoa.
Compared, like, for a new hero? That seems kind of crazy. Like, for example, like, just December, like, end of December, he was at 12%. Dropped another 4% since then. Wow.
Support
and his win rate,
Snapfire?
well, his win rate did drop 7% after his nerfs. Wow. Damn. And it's been steadily down there since then.
I mean, he's
Wow, he
one of
got
those kind of... Is glass cannon the right word to explain? Those heroes are so hard to balance because just little tweaks, they either do way too much damage, and if you're under that break point and you can't get your snowball rolling, you just feel useless. I mean, it's Ember Spirit felt that way when he came out. There were windows where he was totally broken, and then
Ember and Monkey for the same reason, right? Because mobility is so hard to balance.
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
So I have faith they'll find that sweet spot. But
Snapfire definitely needed that last nerf too. With the Mortimer kisses, that spell is so busted. You know how broken that spell is? All credit to Fogged, because
the range.
He started doing this build before anyone else I saw. You know, you guys remember when Coddle had that broken ass ulti and just rush refresher? Just rush a refresher. It is so good. Like, it's actually a hilariously good build. If you have any semblance of frontliner stuns, the refresher Mortimer build is just gross. Like, it's so much damage. It's actually so stupid. All her mana costs are so low that it doesn't even matter. Like, you can easily get refresher and it's fine.
I like it. Damn.
It's pretty fun.
That sounds pretty decent. Huh. I do like that they removed half the shrines, though. Big fan of that
big
change.
fan. Makes it a lot easier to invade at least one part of the enemy territory, which is important. Especially because it's by the ancients, right? On both sides. So that's good.
Still need to get used to it. I've biffed a couple of TPs doing that kind of muscle memory.
Oh, me too. 100%.
Just clicking on the map, you know. Oh, yeah, I know where that point is. Oh, nope.
You know what? I play way more support than I play core, but whenever I end up playing like off lane, I still keep like I'm looking at the enemies in my lane, I'm watching them while I micro over to the left and shift Q in action back, and I start clicking my shop, and I'm like, oh right, I can't do that anymore. I keep trying to like buy my boots, I keep trying to buy my quelling blade.
Yep.
I think that's the hardest thing that I'm still not used to is like instantly starting to ferry out regen, even as a support.
Yeah.
Oh man. We have the Ogre Arcana has been excellent. I don't know if you've partaken in it.
Well, I've seen it in my games. Yeah, I don't have it. I'm not a big Arcana collector, but yes, I've seen it. It's pretty good. Dude, it's fun. Lived up to expectations, let's say.
It's got this excellent ability or like feature where it shows how like when you have a multicast streak going, it shows you the odds of it every time. And so I think your teammates must be able to see it because we were all like dying while I was getting like it's like 1 out of 42 chance, 1 out of 80 chance or whatever, and it just like keeps showing. It's fun.
The mount is just so derpy looking. I can't. It reminds me of something, but I don't know what.
I'm convinced Slack's voiced that thing. He cannot convince me otherwise. Yeah. That is fucking Slacks, dude. Have you heard that thing? The whole game it just goes like, ah! Like.
It sounds pretty Slacksy. I heard you say that or tweet it or something, and I had that same thought of like, yeah. Whoever did that, if it wasn't Slacks, they definitely saw some video or just like, this is my spirit animal.
Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, if Slacks had a spirit animal that wasn't a pug, I'm pretty sure it would be this bird.
And that's pretty much the bird version of a pug. It's got 4 legs. Like, look at that thing. It's got buggy eyes.
Yeah.
It's a pug. It breathes funny.
Oh, God. You're not wrong.
Man, Mr. Rube was looking so good. Shout out to Mr. Rube. When we were at minus mode, he really got that dog on a diet. That dog looked a lot better. He didn't breathe funny anymore. I didn't
Yeah,
even know that was possible.
it's amazing when you don't have all that fat clogging up your passageways.
All right, I'm unclogging my passageways over here.
Poor Mr. Rue. There's some Slack subs there. That I love that emote. That is just the perfect Mr. Rue picture. Oh, what an adorable little man.
Don't mind me, everyone.
An adorable little man. So let's talk Singapore, dude. How
Yes.
was the big event? Again, I didn't get to watch too much of this one because of the fucking time zones and dealing with Christmas, but
Probably my best work trip in, I might say ever. I think that might have been my favorite work trip
wow.
because I mean, everyone who was there. I mean, I'm friends with everyone, obviously in the Dota scene. Like, there's no one who any of us really hate or anything. But like, there were people there. Like, I hang out with Owen and Cheever a lot. Like, we play Dota all the time, like constantly, like every day. So everyone just kind of being there, and then just like, I don't know, it was fun. It was like a really fun group. It was very walkable in Singapore. I'd never been to Singapore,
Yeah.
and I didn't really know much about it, to be honest. Like, I knew like the history stuff from like class and school, but I definitely had no sense of the scale of Singapore. It is very small. Like,
yeah.
you can just walk everywhere. And we did. I mean, we walked from our hotel the first day that we just had off. We just walked for like 6 hours. And it was amazing. We went and got food. We got some bubble tea. We went down to these giant gardens down by the waterfront. Very touristy area that we were in. So, I mean, that kind of worked out, obviously, because we were tourists. And yeah, just had an amazing time. The weather was great. The city is so green. There's so many green spaces. There's so much like forest architecture on the buildings. I had no idea. It is absolutely beautiful. So highly recommend. And then obviously in terms of the Dota, One Esports were amazing hosts. Big shout outs to them. Very happy to hear that they're going to be working on the major there as well. This was kind of like their trial run for it. So, I have nothing but good things to say about them.
Did it feel more kind of like a PGL event in terms of people you interfaced with and the talent management and all that stuff? Or was it more of a One Esports event with just PGL production?
No, it was mostly PGL with a couple of One Esports guys too. But they were all excellent. Like, we met the leader from there. Got sweet swag bags. Of course, always helps. Got to get those talent, their swag bags. No, it wouldn't even matter with or without the swag bags. It was absolutely excellent. And I really hope to go back for the major because they're gonna do very well again.
Fuck, dude, put me on the short list. I am so jealous. I want to go to Singapore so bad. It has been on my list for years, and I've always thought, it's Southeast Asia. I've been to Malaysia a bunch of times. One of these, I'll get to go to Singapore, and I have never been invited to a Singapore event. So good on you, bud. I'm glad to hear it went well, though. As we talked about on podcast past, One is basically UFC in Asia. It's a giant fighting brand.
Yes.
So it's a huge company, big time entertainment, real world sports stuff. So glad to hear their foray into esports went well because this is a big one. This is one of those when we talk about the mainstream and esports getting some crossover and being able to help one another grow. These are exactly the kind of things we're talking about. So this is.
Yeah, they were all very excited, and they were really interested to like hear our feedback. Which, hey, if you guys read any of those articles about some of the talent leaving leaving Overwatch League, that was one of the big complaints. Was that they felt like anything they said and anything they brought to the table was kind of ignored or not taken seriously. Which, as a talent, like, we have a pretty good idea about what resonates well on a broadcast and what people want to see when it comes to Dota, and good organizers recognize that and ask us our opinion.
Yeah. Pretty
easy. You don't have to do everything we say, but if you want to ask us questions and we give you feedback and then you do stuff off that feedback, big thumbs up. Makes the show a lot better.
It kind of makes sense.
Happy.
It's almost like we interface with our audience outside of the bubble of that specific event. It's almost like most of us have been doing this for the better part of a decade and really have a good idea of what resonates and what doesn't. I'm with you 100%. And that is...
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, those egos are rough. I've experienced that at a couple of events where, you have kind of the esports team and then you meet these guys that are like the money dudes or the management. I don't want to name any specific events, but you can tell they're out of touch and they have that, wouldn't it be cool if X? And you're like, I mean, no one's ever going to do that, dog. No. Yes, it would be cool, but let's call it impossible. So
Yeah.
And you got to see, was this the debut of that new EG logo in all of its glory? Did you and I think we talked about it on What the Duck without you, but.
Oh, nice. I missed that combo. Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the first one. Did they ever fix the kerning on it?
You mean
like at the end, the letters aren't spaced correctly. It looks terrible.
No, I don't think so. I think it's still
they're just riding it out.
Well,
they're just like, nope, this is our logo.
I guess I don't know. It's possible the updated version has not trickled down to Wikipedia yet, but
no, on their main header, there's still that big spacing at the end. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just make the E longer or something at the start? So, I mean, there's got to be solutions here.
But I need some validation. All right, tell me if I'm just completely crazy. But bottom of the V, that negative space that cuts into like the I and the N and the U,
yeah,
doesn't it sort of look like angry eyebrows of like a cartoon character, like like on South Park when they like Cartman gets mad and his eyebrows get like evil geniuses? Do you think that was at all intentional?
No, 0% chance.
All right, because I brought that up on What the Duck, and they shit all over me. I got shit on hard by my co-host, and I thought that was not the crazy. I mean, it's a pretty shit logo, so I thought that's at least some depth that you could really appreciate.
I don't have a picture to show you guys, but you can just look at their main logo if you want. Just I linked their Twitter. It's their icon. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, whatever. I will say this about EG. They look very comfortable when they play. I wish that I had... Like, I love the fact that the jersey stuff is going away.
I will say this. They're not looking at their own jerseys while they're playing, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I think this idea of apparel and stuff, like this, like, you see the sweater? Don't you think a hockey player wishes they could play in this thing? Oh, this would be nice and comfortable. I mean, maybe not in hockey necessarily, but when you're gaming, this is the kind of thing I want to wear. Nice, long sleeves, ventilated a little maybe, I don't want that big, scratchy jersey stuff. Like, Chaos is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I think esports apparel is looking nice.
No, I'm 100% on board with esports moving into the lifestyle apparel kind of thing as opposed to the jerseys. I've always hated the try-hard, like, sports jersey thing. Even when you see the fabric, like this, they're not sweating. This is not the right application.
Does not look comfortable.
What are we doing? Why is everybody chafing their nipples to sit in a chair? I don't get it. So, of course, Vici Gaming did take first place. It was a 500K prize pool tournament, so this was a nice big one. It was Vici, EG, and then Gambit took third, with Alliance taking fourth. Of course, the Alliance squad, that is the Nico Baby squad, Limp, 33, Hunskin, and Fada. What happened to Team Liquid, the ex-Alliance? Mickey, Koikva, Boxy, Taiga, and Insania, with Blitz as the coach. Bottom, right next to Jay Storm.
It was a case of we are not caring. Qualified for the major. They were all on break. So obviously they wanted to play well, but it was not a first priority for them to do really well there. They didn't like boot camp super hard or anything. The results are still disappointing. There's no doubt.
I mean, it looks like they won literally one match in the entire tournament. That's one of those, I hear you, and that's probably true, but Jesus Christ, man. You should still be able to turn it on a little bit.
No, they definitely wanted to play better, but I'm just saying that is the reasoning that they would give you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a little scary going into the major. That would not fill me with confidence. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wouldn't be feeling too hot after that, but that's okay. You also learn a lot when you lose, so there's that.
Very true.
Obviously, you learn you suck. No,
Tell me about this Gambit squad, dude.
I'm looking forward to them at the minor. Like they got trounced in terms of like their last games. Unfortunately, they went 0-4. Is that right? At the end, right? Versus EG. Yeah, EG and Vici, they got 0-4'd. So pretty rough because like they 2-0 Alliance. You're in the upper bracket final. You're like, sick. We're nailing it. Yeah. You get 2-0 by EG, you get 2-0 by Vici, and you're just out. You're like, wow, that was fast. But they went 1-1 with EG, I think, in the groups. I remember they at least beat EG. Yeah, they went 1-1. And then Arteezy kind of talked about it a little bit where he said like they knew what they did wrong versus Gambit, and then they beat them the next time really bad. Like,
I see.
It wasn't close. Gambit are very good with their comfort heroes. And without them, they're quite bad. I think they would agree with that. Like they didn't really have a lot of secondary strats, and so when those strategies got figured out, they just plummeted out of the game, the tournament. It's kind of like what happened to Alliance too. I think Alliance is very similar in that vein.
Yeah. That weirdly, that feels like a hallmark of a lot of teams that FNG is on, where they find these strats that work really, really well for them. They have 2, maybe 3 different combinations that they can run, and they dumpster on these other teams that haven't figured it out. And then they finally get matched up against a real team like EG or Vici that can adapt and figure out the weak spot. They shut down that strat, and it's just over. They go from, holy shit, Gambit looks incredible, to, well, that didn't work at all. What happened there, kind of thing. I mean, that's just years of this being the case for FNG squads.
It's rough. Poor FNG, man. He's a hard one to watch. I don't know. I hope that he's motivated at the major.
Hard to watch.
Or at the minor, rather. It is hard to watch, dude. He's been like, what, 1 game away from qualifying like 3 times or something?
Yeah, that's true. I would say he's hard to be like a diehard fan of, but hard to watch, I guess, is the next extension of that. I like it.
It is. It is hard to watch, dude, because you feel bad because you're going to see him lose, and then he looks like he's going to cry because he's obviously very emotionally invested. Yeah. And then he tweets something very depressing after every time, and I feel bad.
Yeah, all right, I'll agree with you. It is hard to watch. Oof.
So, obviously, they're now going into the minor. They're probably are they the best performing team from there at the minor? I think they are, right?
Yes, they should be.
Yeah. Because who else is going to be, like, at the minor, the biggest competition is going to be Nigma, obviously. They're, like, who was in the first minor that was, like, the big, let me see here. Go back to my minor here. That was IG. Oh, yeah, IG won that. Because the first minor, there was no standout victor, right? There wasn't any team where everyone was like, okay, they're definitely going to win, which was kind of cool. Because I feel like a lot of the minors last year, it felt like there was someone who you were like, oh, they just didn't have enough slots.
Yeah. I mean, it was always filling out my bracket at Dota Pit was, I think I can say almost for sure, the top 3 teams.
Yeah. I think this one is more like a last year minor where it's like Nigma's probably going to win. Like if they don't win, it would be considered disappointing. It's kind of funny. There's like 2 trains of thoughts going on. I see like a lot of Reddit threads about the minor coming up, and it's very interesting to hear what people think. Where it's like some people say, why should Nigma just be like assume that they're gonna win? Like they haven't even played that well and they didn't qualify for the major. But like these guys just like came second.
But it's also just an individual star power thing. Like I agree, Nigma have not found their footing in matches that we've seen yet. But as soon as these players figure out how to gel, I mean, you look at head to head in every role, and I think I'm favoring Nigma against almost any of these teams. The star power is unbelievable. Yeah. Royal Never Give Up looked decent? Because again, some decent star power in terms of names, but I don't know how they've been gelling recently.
I have not get to really see them play. I haven't get to watch like any China this year, so I don't have a really good read on them, unfortunately. They're definitely one of the teams that I think is fair to rate in that, like, it's like, to me, there's like Nigma, and then right after them, it's probably RNG and Gambit if they're playing well.
Yeah.
And then under that is probably like NIP, Team Spirit, Fighting Pit. It's very similar across the rest of the teams, except Fury is probably the bottom simply because there's a lot of unproven players on there.
Yeah.
Just like, it's kind of like Duster, Hiko, and then it's like, all right, good luck kind of deal. At least I personally don't know much about like Murdoch and RDO.
No.
Didn't watch the SA qualifiers. So
I would like to see this Geek Fam squad do okay in this tournament. I certainly don't think they'll get a top 3, but would like to see them not just bomb out and take like a bottom 2 finish or something. Dubu, Zephyr, Cuckoo, Carl, and Raven is that current Geek Fam squad. That should be a fun minor, and it starts super soon, right? Tomorrow,
I believe.
In fact. Wow.
I've already seen the photos from the ski resort. Looks lovely.
Yeah.
Everyone was out hitting the hills today.
Fuck, am I jealous, dude. All right, there have been a couple of specific events where I have like seen the tweets, and I'm just sitting at home like, fuck you. One of them was the Manila Major right after Shanghai. That was the one where Mott got business class flights, the sleeper seat, just cruising Polaris all the way to Manila. I was fucking jelly. That was the pool at the top of the hotel. Skiing next to the Dota event. Bruh, I love skiing. I've always wanted to ski in Europe. It's a dream of mine.
We're going to link Lizard's Twitter here, guys. You guys can go down his tweets, and there's plenty of pictures from today if you haven't seen them. They're lovely.
Yeah.
They're all out there. BSJ's hitting the hills.
It's
I'd
a
like
cool.
to see BSJ in his ski spandex. I bet he just slides right down that hill.
It's a cool list of talent, though I'm intrigued as to what the plan is with 3 hosts for a tournament that's only 5 days long.
Dude, this is gonna be dope. All right, first off, let's
days,
go over the. Well, can we? I guess we might as well just talk about this whole thing because this. Did you guys talk about this on What the Duck about Sunsfan? Out of curiosity,
What thing about?
or was this
Sunsfan?
that big Reddit thread about like why isn't Sunsfan at WePlay? Was that discussed on What the Duck or no?
No, I think all that happened after What the Duck, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, did it?
I don't remember the exact timeline, but I'm pretty sure that was not a thing yet because we didn't talk about it at all.
That was pretty wild. That was a serious. I mean, that was a weird thread because personally, I mean,
I forgot this was public. Actually, this was so weird. I sort of in my head felt like this happened with DMs, but it was all public.
No, this is all public. So first off, I love watching qualifiers. I love casting qualifiers, but I couldn't cast these ones very much because of stuff I had going on at home. And so I did get to watch some of them. And I watched Sunsfan and Cinderin, and oh my god, I was DMing Sunsfan so much that week because the two of them were just killing me. Like, their casts were so good. I was having such a good time listening. And then the talent list comes out, and because I thought Sunsfan was super tight with these guys.
Well, he is.
So
He's done all their artifact events. He's flown to Ukraine like more than any of the rest of us.
Yeah, so then I see that he's not on the list, and I was like, oh, that's too bad. Sunsfan must not have been able to go. I just assumed. I also assumed he must be busy, much like the Reddit account did from WePlay.
Yeah.
I was so confused. And then, obviously, there was that big public thread where everyone's like, why didn't you invite Sunsfan? And they said, oh, he was busy. And then Sunsfan was in the thread like, well, actually, I wasn't busy, and I tried messaging and didn't get anything back. And you're just like, damn. It truly shows the both the cutthroatness, the lack of organization and preparation sometimes, and how a lot of things just fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
When it comes to esports,
we do have to remember that there is a little bit of English bias here because for WePlay, really their primary product is the Russian broadcast, and obviously for minors, you have to have an English stream. So it's not their area of expertise. While I do agree there is some. I mean, I don't know a tier list of all the Russian casters. I know some of them. I don't know all of them. If we had to invite 10 of them to an event, I don't think I would get the list perfectly right if we were critiquing it under a microscope, you know?
Well, I think this case is a little different, though, because, like, he was their mainstream during the qualifiers, and there were so many threads and so much, and they even had all these tweets talking about, like, who are your favorite casters of the qualifiers? And I would see them, and all the responses were just Sunsfan and Cinderin.
Yeah, I mean, it's also ridiculous to essentially lie about it, even if you're misinformed, to definitively post, oh, Sunsfan was busy. Like, well, where the fuck did you get that from? Was that an internal memo? Like, you know, if you've got someone to throw under the bus for this one, now would be the time because Sunsfan is right here. And it's like the double down. I mean, there was more than that. A Sunsfan replies, well, I'm available. I wanted to work it, and you didn't reply to me. And then the guy was still replying to responses further in the thread. Like, Sajidine was still replying to him like, dude, what are you doing? You're just making this worse for all parties involved. Just stop posting. I mean, it was an odd...
It was very odd. It was a weird thread. It was one of the odder ones I've ever seen in my life on Reddit. It was a weird one to wake up to in Singapore. I was just going through it on my phone. I'm just like, well, that seems weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, sucks. It really sucks because I thought Cinder and Sunsfan did really well. But obviously, moving past that, I am very excited for the event still because there's lots of great talent there. It's gonna be a ton of fun, and it's as you said, an interesting group. 3 hosts. We got Rob, who they love. They're all about the Rob.
Yeah.
He does a bunch of their events. Roberto Gonzalez. I remember seeing him on the Valentine's Day event, but I think that was the only one that I've seen him do.
I think he's known as Rob AGJ or something, right?
Something like that on Twitter.
Or AJG. I'm sorry, I had it backwards.
So so he'll be hosting. I assume he's going to be doing a lot of hosting. I think there's a stage host too because there is like a little stage there with some a smaller crowd.
Won't the stage host be in Russian? Or Ukrainian? We're in Ukraine, big dog.
I was told, a little birdie told me that there would be some stage hosting.
Weird.
Probably,
Are there 2 stages?
I don't know.
So, I mean, I've been to Ukraine twice only for Star Ladders, but my experience is that average folk in Ukraine don't really speak English that well. It is not one of those countries where, like, oh, yeah, all the young people speak it, but the old people don't.
Yeah.
It's still 50-50 with young people. And at Star Ladder, everything in the venue was Ukrainian. Literally everything. We were in, like, a little corner off to the side as the English stream. So
if anything, it might be because like the stream where they like give the trophy and a lot of that stuff and like bring them on stage, they'll probably still have someone in English to do that stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I was told. So what it usually means, because the last time Shiver did some casting when they had a bunch of hosts there. So I think she's hoping to at least do a little bit of casting for the group stage. So that'd be fun. I like it when Shiver gets the cast because she has like just all that enthusiasm and excitement for the game, and it's fun.
Yeah,
you know, she's not looking to cast a TI game or anything right now, but she has a lot of fun casting, so I have fun watching.
It reminds me of like when you see a second string quarterback go in and they just play different, you know, like they go for it, they go for the rush, they go for that extra yard because they're like, fuck it, I don't get to play anyway. Who cares if I get hurt? She just goes for it, dude. Fuck it, I'm here, I'm having fun. I'm not a caster anyway. Take it or leave it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this one, and WePlay always has fun with the production. That's one thing I really appreciate about WePlay.
These guys are wild. They got the musical acts to start out every day.
Yeah,
it's usually a half hour of music.
Yep,
live music. There have been some seriously weird ones.
Yeah,
and then they have the beautiful sets, huge sets. They put a lot of effort into the sets. They got those big like rotating cameras. It's nice.
Yeah.
So expect high production value here, guys.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm excited. I want to cast some DPC. We got qualifiers. No, how long until the next set of qualifiers? I need to open up this schedule because DreamHack is after this. I know we got DreamHack Major. That starts in 10 days, right? The 18th. It's minor right into Major.
Yeah, it's the Major is like just a couple days after.
Yep. And then how long is the break until, I'm going to pull up the schedule. How long is the break until qualifiers start? Oh, it's like a 2-week break. All right.
Oh, that's nice. That's a big, I guess the breaks got longer this year.
Yes. Qualifier number 3 is February 9th to 14th.
That's a lot better. Jeez, the breaks were so bad last year.
Yeah. So that's not bad at all. And then, of course, there's a long gap after the qualifiers into the minor. That's not until May 3rd. So it's pretty much three weeks until that minor starts. And now, Trent, we know what all the majors are, but we still have 3 mystery minors to be announced.
We do. Yeah, that's true. We know all the majors now? Are they all there?
Yeah, so next up is Dream League in, I still can't say this right, Leipzig in Germany. And then in March, we've got ESL 1 Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, right, LA. Yeah.
Are you going to that? No, you're not.
I can't. It's too close to the baby.
I can't decide if I'm going. Someone reached out to me about trying to split a hotel or Airbnb. Yo, LA is fucking expensive. I started comparing the cost of that trip of my New Zealand trip. Like, yo, fuck flying to Los Angeles and renting an Airbnb. Yo, that shit is just the taxi from the airport to where the venue is going to be $60. I mean, fuck. So I don't know. I'm torn. I was texting Rob earlier. If I can couch surf with Rob and schmooze through his car.
Oh, look, wait, hold on. We got help here. Leipzig.
Leipzig. Leipzig.
Dude, I love trying to say stuff. Leipzig? Or like Leipzig? Oh, jeez.
My German is either really aggressive or really fruity. Those are the two extremes. It's either Leipzig or Katzenbacke. So we've got ESL Los Angeles, and then after that is the Epicenter Major. That's coming up in May. And then June 20th, the last one, you touched on it, the One Esports Singapore Major. So we got to see their little trial. I like that they did that. They did a standalone event to make sure it would all work and be good, and then that kind of gives them proof of concept so they know what to do going into the final major. It's great, dude.
Dude, why? The weirdest part of that entire tournament is we all woke up and we were like, I can't remember where. I think we were all like down waiting for the shuttle or something, and someone's on their phone. They're like, guys, they just announced the major. And we were like, they did? It's like, Yeah. Oh no, it was in between. It was during a commercial break or something. That's what it was. We were sitting on the panel, and they just like tweeted it out, and we were like, "What?" It's like, well, yeah, I thought you guys aren't gonna save that for like the arena. It's like 2 days away. Why don't we just wait and do it in front of the crowd? That would be really hype. And they're just like, "Oh no, it's cool. You guys want to retweet it? That'd be cool." It's like we could have done something with that, you know?
I mean, I guess they're not worried about the marketing. You know, it's such a big event in such a
yeah.
like,
I just thought it would be hype.
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
just dropped it, and we were just like all because like a lot of us had, you know, they told us that already, but we were kind of hoping for like a big hype announcement, and they just bloop. That was good.
I wonder if we can announce the thing that we're doing for that one event coming up real soon. Probably.
That thing we're doing for that one event coming up real soon?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dream League.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty safe. So you know, I'm doing the remote DPC grind this circuit. I haven't been on site, but we're going to be the remote broadcasters for the first 2 days of the group stage for the Dream League Major.
I canceled brunch for this.
One of my all-time favorite gigs, I think, is casting majors remotely for Dream League and PGL. It's great because you still you feel like you have this front row seat. You get to cast really awesome games that really matter, and you get to do it from the comfort of your own home. It's cool. It's like a 1 foot on
coffee. Yeah, it is the best. Yeah.
I mean, I'd always rather be there, but if that's not in the cards, then I'm down to cast remotely. So we've got that coming up. Again, that starts January 18th, and before that, we've got this Bukovel minor to get through. They added a little bit of extra time between the minor and majors too, which is nice. The minor ends on the 12th, and the major begins on the 18th. So now there's a good almost a week gap in between. I mean,
it's crazy to think what last year was like.
What was it? 3 days? It was like 72 hours or something. I mean, it was. I think it was probably the worst spot to be in. Winning a minor was the worst.
It was terrible. Tigers played the day after they landed in KL,
and they looked awful. I wish we had a camera. I wish we were recording that 2-minute conversation we had with Theban, because it would have been so telling of just like, guys, this is what the DPC circuit does to people. They looked dead. They looked like zombies. He had like the lines under his eyes. He looked jet lagged. He was just kind of like, I just feel terrible. You didn't blame him. I just felt bad for him. You know, it was really like a shitty kind of oversight, I guess, in the whole operation. Like, they'll just deal with it. Like, kind of.
Yeah, it got fixed for like the future tournaments after that a little bit, and now this year it's obviously just like much better overall. But I remember last year, like majors would end and teams like Secret would fly to their boot camp, and they'd have like 12 hours before they were like playing in the open qualifiers or something, or like the next qualifiers, and everyone had to do it like so online. So that was a bit rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy to see breaks, and excited to watch that minor starting tomorrow. It's gonna be good.
Me too, man. Me too. I think that brings us pretty close to a close. Was there anything else that happened since Christmas time or New Year's that we need to talk about?
In the world of everything, I don't think so.
Or Dota 2? Yeah, I don't think so. I've just been doing the boring stuff. This is tax season, dude. Woo!
Oh yeah, I gotta start on that life. The old tax life.
I finally dove in and learned how to use QuickBooks this year. I will PSA to anyone out there that's an entrepreneur thinking about starting a business: use QuickBooks or something comparable. The worst advice I ever got in the business world was, "Hey, does my spreadsheet work in place of QuickBooks?" And my accountant saying, "Yeah, sure, as long as you know where everything is." Worst advice ever. I forgot where a lot of things were, and then no one else could figure it out either. QuickBooks is definitely the fucking play. Just learn it. It's super easy. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself that 5 years ago, Trent.
How much does it cost?
I think the basic version is like $10 a month or something. There might, and that might be for business. I don't know for individuals.
Yeah.
You might be able to get the standalone. All those programs now are trying to get away from the buy at one time and make it subscription based. It's so fucking obnoxious. You know, you can't buy Photoshop anymore. You just have to pay $25 a month.
I've heard that.
It's awful.
Pretty
I mean,
rough.
It's great for Adobe, but it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I think you can still buy Office, but it's like $200 to buy the new version of Office as a standalone for one computer.
I just use Google Sheets or I use LibreOffice if I really have to. I just use anything that's open source.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
There's no way I'm paying for that stuff. It's crazy. I do TurboTax for my. Or I think there one of those ones. I can't remember which one it is. It's actually very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pain, but it is easy. You
It's
just fill in the
comparatively
blanks.
easy.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
You don't want to be the person that shows up at your accountant's office with a bunch of receipts and cocktail napkins that are like, here's a bunch of things I might have done this year. That's never a good feeling. Trent, I do have one content recommendation. I tweeted this out the other day, but Netflix.
Okay.
Don't fuck with cats. It's a 3-hour, 3-piece, 3-hour-long docu-series. It's like it's a documentary, but it's a little bit dramatic. Very interesting. Very much about internet stuff.
What's it about?
So it happened in 2012, I think. That guy he posted 2 videos of him harming cats. He suffocated them and then he drowned one. So this whole horde of people created a Facebook group to try to like hunt him down and find this dude. And they did. So it's a documentary about how this dude did some really fucked up shit, and they basically deduced that he's like on that psychopathic spectrum of escalation of like,
right.
Okay, it's starting with animals and it's probably going to go to humans. So that was how they justified the search to find him, of like, this is fucked up and it's just going to get worse. So they went on this crazy hunt. It was like this whole crowdsourced.
Did they catfish him?
Global effort. I don't want to spoil it because it turns. So for everyone saying like, oh, I can't watch the cat videos, it is really, they do a really good job showing you sort of the setup. They don't show any of the like super violent shit. But you know, when you see the setup, you're just like, oh fuck, it's pretty gruesome. But most of the series is about other shit. The cats are just in the first episode. It evolves into a whole bigger thing. The story twists, and it's very, very interesting. It's fucked up, but
That's a little dark for my taste. I don't know.
It's dark, but I think
prefer my dark to be fiction.
If you can get through the first episode, the second 2 are really interesting. The way it turns and they profile people, it's very relevant to the internet age. The person is narcissistic, and they deduce that he is basically doing it for attention because of his failed attempts to be popular and other, you know, as an actor or whatever else. So it evolves into this whole thing, and I don't want to spoil it, but the ending makes it all worth it. The reveal of like, why is he doing all this shit? None of this makes sense, is kind of like, holy fuck, this is real. It's like a real episode of SVU, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a hard pass.
All right.
But anyone out there who's into that stuff, you go for it.
It is dark. I won't lie, it's dark, but it's a real mystery. It's a real, and I can't believe I missed it. There's a lot of shit with Canada in it. A lot of the shit happened in Toronto. So it made a whole bunch of news in like 2012, 2013. I missed all of it. I didn't even know those videos existed. So I watched it.
I vaguely remember that. It was probably a lot of it in Canada. Maybe that's why.
I think
I
it definitely.
I definitely remember hearing about that guy.
Yeah. The So anyway.
Yeah.
Have a go, folks. Have a
Thank
go.
you. What else went on? I guess we're just we're excited for the minor. Gonna see if they can do it. The squad of talent can handle a Dota tournament on a ski slope.
Yep.
I think they got it. I'm excited to see Rich again. We didn't talk about that, but I'm excited to watch Rich.
Richard Campbell. Yep.
Yeah, he's been very excited to get back into the Dota grind, so he's coming back there soon. So
Well,
give
Trent,
all your love to Rich.
This is the real test. Can these casters handle Team Nigma on LAN? Maybe that's why they didn't invite Sunsfan.
That must be it.
Huh?
He was the first victim.
And
that poor bastard.
We'll see if he's the last.
Well, I told you I was messaging him during that week because I thought their casting was so good. And he was like, I'm so scared that I'm going to say something, Trent. I've never even said that word in my life, but I'm so scared that something's going to happen. And then he did it. Did he say, he probably said that on What the Duck.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's got to be one of those things where it gets in your head. I was thinking about that Office episode when they're coming up the elevator and they're like, all right, Michael, you will not tell them that we're broke. I will not tell them that we're broke. And he gets 10 seconds later, oh, I think I'm going to say it. Oh, I think I'm going to say it. Like, something happens with human psychology when you're told not to do something. Your brain just goes, huh? You wanna fucking just go for it? Yeah, and it just fucking happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
That, you said it right. That poor fucking bastard.
Yeah, well, rest in peace, Sunsfan, not getting invited, because he definitely should have been. So unfortunate that wires get crossed there. I wish he was at the tournament. But other than that, it's obviously an amazing group of talent. So don't forget to check that out. It'll be on the WePlay Twitch, I am sure.
Well, who knows? Maybe he'll get invited to Dream League to make up for it. We still don't know that talent list.
That's true.
Sunsfan at a Dream League. That would be cool and weird.
Well, you never know. But alas, so next episode soon?
Yes, I think so. Sort of announcement, but I think the podcast might be a little more regular, trying to get back into the flow of things since Trent's going to be traveling a little less. That's all public, right? You've posted about that, your plans.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Bebe number 2.
Yep.
So rip the Trent and Cap casting duo. It was a good run.
Yeah, it was great. No, obviously, I'm off for a few months. This was all known to Cap when we made our plans. So, waiting for the baby to arrive means that I'm not traveling for a bit. So, expect very frequent podcasting coming from here. I'll also be streaming some of the games when I can during the minor, but it won't be just like casting. I'll probably be doing like very specific things that you won't get from the mainstream, like player perspectives and stuff like that. Just trying to kind of like blindly watch the game from their perspective. It's very fun. I really like doing that. So,
that's pretty cool.
I'll tweet if I'm doing that.
Yeah,
you can feel like a real idiot sometimes. It's good.
Huh.
Yeah.
Smart.
Maybe you can join me. We'll have some fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been trying to stream a little bit more as well. I was going to stream today, but I'm flying back to Philadelphia today, and I realized that I need to pack before I leave for the airport. So I think I'm going to dodge on that and do my real life stuff. But I've been streaming more PoE and again, getting the swing of streaming some more Dota. But yeah.
All right. Well, you hit me up whenever you want a party cube, and we'll get them.
Dude, I might actually do that. Let's do it. So, all right, folks, we'll catch you next time. You know where to find the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, all that shit. Zyori.tv for the audio only. The Moonduck store is still available, store.moonduck.tv. I wonder if that command is just rolling in Twitch. There it is. Buy some shit. If you buy some shit right now, I will ship it out today because I'm going to do a shipment before I leave for Jersey. So get to it. Buy some shit. It's awesome. It's high quality, and I need it out of my house. So please, please. We'll see you next time, though. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Zyori Podcast. Bye-bye.